What's up, Nation citizens? If you remember back to our last video, I looked at the best case scenario for two of the new forwards that the Oilers have brought in over the offseason. And now I want to shift gears and talk a little bit about the blue line and talk about best case scenarios for a couple of the new blue liners that the Oilers have brought in. Now, when you say the word Oilers and blue line and you put them together, it causes a lot of anxiety amongst the fan base. There's a lot of doom and gloom. The right side is not all that proven and it's not all that skilled, but come on, it's training camp. Let's drink the Kool-Aid a little bit and let's talk about upside. I'm not gonna lie, when I looked at the fancy stats behind Ty Emberson's game after the Oilers acquired him from San Jose, I started to get pretty excited. There's something about a guy who can put up really, really good underlying results that are driven by good defensive play, not any sort of juiced up offensive numbers, and do it on a bad team. There was a board from Dom Lucian that said he brought an expected value of north of $5 million to the San Jose Sharks blue line. That is legit. He's only 24 years old. He's only appeared in about 30 games, but his results are so good that I think the Oilers may have found a diamond in the rough here. Here is the best case scenario for Ty Emberson. And maybe I should preface that there's kind of two, but one that I'm excited about is the idea of him being paired up with Brett Kulak and giving the Oilers a high-end shutdown third pairing, and that duo could take a lot of difficult minutes away from a pairing that involves Darnell Nurse, and it could actually, even though they're not on the ice together, help elevate Darnell Nurse's game and make the whole blue line look a lot better. So my 1A best case scenario for Ty Emberson is that he clicks with Brett Kulak, they eat a ton of tough minutes for this Oilers team, and maybe halfway through the season, the Oilers recognize what they have, they sign Emberson to a nice cheap 2-3 year deal, and he ends up being a value piece of this blue line for years to come. My kind of 1B to this whole thing is, what if he ends up playing with Darnell Nurse and he develops into a legit top four defenseman, and his strong defensive play allows Darnell Nurse to take a few more chances offensively, jump up in the rush, get his offense going, cover up for a few of Nurse's mistakes, and all of a sudden Darnell Nurse is producing like he did in the Canadian division, and Ty Emberson's playing 20 minutes a night, and similar to the last scenario, the Oilers sign him, he's a value deal, and we look back on that Cody Ceci trade as a true Stan Bowman, Jeff Jackson masterclass. Now, I don't think Emberson is the best fit with Nurse, which brings me to the second defenseman I want to talk about today. And while Troy Stecher isn't technically a new addition, we did see him in 7 games as an Oiler last season after coming over at the deadline, I feel like it's fair to lump him in with the new additions. He was banged up, didn't play a ton, and now he's coming into camp with a cheap 2-year deal and a fresh outlook on things and an open spot for him in the top 6. He has a very limited sample size as an Oiler and a very limited sample size with Darnell Nurse. But in 49 minutes of 5-on-5 time on ice together last year, the duo produced some strong results. They didn't get scored on once. They outshot the opposition 26-22 on the ice together. That's good. So what's the best case scenario for Stecher? Well, it's that the short sample size isn't an anomaly, and him and Darnell Nurse actually play well together, and there are some reasons to believe this is possible. Think about in the playoffs, Darnell Nurse played well with Philip Broberg. Philip Broberg's strengths are passing the puck. So you put a good puck mover with Darnell Nurse. I mean, hey, Nurse also had a couple of years with Tyson Barrie, and the Oilers went to the Western Conference Final with that as their top pairing. Now all you need is Nurse and Stecher to be a good second pairing. I like the playmaking possibilities of having Stecher next to Darnell Nurse. He's going to move the puck out, so my best case scenario is that he brings the best out of Darnell Nurse, and while he isn't a traditional top 4 defenseman, and I do still think the Oilers have to upgrade that spot at the deadline, maybe Troy Stecher and Darnell Nurse just click to a level where we start to have some conversations about, okay, how badly do you need to upgrade that right-hand spot? I know that feels like a stretch, but hey, it's training camp. We're doing a little pie-in-the-sky dreaming. We're drinking the Oilers Kool-Aid, so why not sit and believe that Troy Stecher and his puck-moving ability could complement Darnell Nurse perfectly, and they end up being a pretty solid pairing for the Edmonton Oilers, and it leads to a bounce back for Darnell Nurse. Those are my best case scenarios for Emberson and Stecher, 2 of the new names on this Oilers blue line. What do you think? Am I too low? Am I too high? Drop a comment down below. And also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button because hockey season is just around the corner and you won't want to miss any of the content we got coming up here at Oilers Nation. What's up, Nation citizens? If you like that video, then you need to be subscribed to the Oilers Nation YouTube. Podcasts, live shows, exclusive interviews, and analysis. Everything you need from your favorite voices at Oilers Nation. And you don't want to miss any of it, so hammer that subscribe button.